I saw karma happen in real time in the past 20 years. From being on the top of the world, having everything one can wish for, to practically nothing. And I wanted to share that with you as a reminder on how our little actions that we do throughout our lives can have a huge impact later when we expect it the least. This is a story about someone I know. To give you a little bit of a backstory, this guy was super successful about 30 years ago. An amazing artist, was making a lot of money, but it kind of went to his head and started treating his staff and his clients a little bit like shit, making you feel like you were lucky if he would tattoo you. You were lucky if you could work for him. Often, unfortunately, taking advantage of his clients. He would work more slowly so he can make more money off of you. Got lazy and started reusing designs. Like, you would think that the tattoo you were getting was custom made for you, but in fact it was just reusing older designs that he tattooed already. Talked down to his staff in front of people. He was a well-rounded asshole. To his core, I don't think he's an evil person. But then again, they say that success just amplify who you really are at the core. So we met about 25 years ago at the midst of his popularity. And I wanted to become a tattoo artist just like him. So I wanted to open my own shop and I was looking up to him. I wanted to be as good as he was. Obviously, I didn't know how despicable he was at the time. So I started getting tattooed by him and hopefully I was gonna learn something from it. And I was hopeful to be acknowledged as a tattoo artist by someone that I was admiring. He did do large pieces on me and I did learn a lot. Unfortunately, I didn't escape the special treatment of custom-made tattoos. A couple of years later, I was just looking randomly at magazines and I actually found the pieces that he did on me. He just copied them, just traced them out of a magazine. Fast forward 5 years, so about 20 years ago, I'd opened my tattoo shop and the dream was on. In the meantime, he had decided that he wanted to close his street shop and open a private studio. He just had bought a building. During the renovation, he needed a place to work. And he asked me if he could come to work in my studio for maybe 4 to 6 months, which lasted a full year. But obviously I said yes. It was like, to me, I saw it as a great opportunity to learn from someone that had a lot more experience than I did. But also, I didn't have a lot of clients, so it was a way to split the rent with someone. So we agreed on a price per month that he would pay, and to this day, I never saw that money. I was very intimidated by this person. He's much older than I am. He kind of knew how I felt about him, that I was intimidated, so he took advantage of this. He just acted like my shop was his. Try making me feel bad for asking him money, like he was doing me a favor by working beside me. That it was an opportunity for me of a lifetime and I should be ashamed of asking him the rent that we agreed on. He was very good at manipulating and making you feel like you were in the wrong for doing what you thought was right. Before leaving the studio though, he did tell me he was gonna pay me back. Again, never did. And oh yeah, and he did stole some equipment from me on his way out. But you know what? I did some stupid stuff when I was younger and I just decided that it was karma. It was like a payback for the shit I've done. I had stolen when I was a kid. I had done stuff like that. So I kind of take it as the universe giving me back what I deserved. So I decided to completely forget about it. I accepted it and moved on. That was 17 years ago. I think we spoke once or twice, maybe 4 times in the 15 years that followed that. And then out of the blue, after maybe 3-4 years without any news, I get a message from him on Facebook that he was getting divorced, that his life was a complete shit show, that he was selling his building and making a little over 300K, that he was partying all the time, and some really other incoherent messages that I have to admit I really didn't care. He was basically talking to himself. I wasn't even answering the messages half the time. It was very strange. But then again, never heard from him for a couple of years. And not too long ago, he showed up to my studio asking me for money because he's broke. I gave him that though. Asking someone for money after stealing from them, it's a really ballsy move. And I asked him why the hell he was asking me money, because in the 2 years prior to that, in the messages he was sending me, he was bragging having over 300K in his account, partying and all that. So it was strange to me that he would come to beg for money because it was broke. So he proceeded to tell me that his life was in a free fall for the past 2 years and that he had nothing left. His family wouldn't speak with him anymore. He shared with me the reasons why. His son wouldn't speak to him anymore. And I think he was hoping for me to sympathize with him. You know, like, oh, poor you, yeah, that sucks. And when he told me the reason why, I was shocked. And I looked at him and I said, you're a lot more fucked up than I thought you were. I'm not gonna share that here because YouTube wouldn't be happy with it. I understand why you wouldn't talk to him anymore. He told me he also got taken to court for SA, that his ex-wife wouldn't talk to him anymore. And the reason he had no more money is in 1 year, he spent $350,000 on drugs and S-workers, everything. He had nothing left. And he was surprised after a lifetime of being a jerk with people, spending his money lavishly, treating everybody around him like shit, that people didn't care anymore, that nobody wanted to help him. Nobody wanted to give him money. That's the thing about it. He was playing the victim card. Like he didn't deserve the treatment that he was getting. That the mistakes that he did in the past, how he spent his money, was his own business, not everybody else's business, that we should help him out and not judge him on what he had done before. Which I think it's true. You shouldn't judge people for what they did in the past. But on the other hand, it's not because you're sorry about doing shitty things in your past that you shouldn't carry the consequences of those acts. You know, you essay someone and you just apologize after and all is good. Come on, let's not fucking dream here. And also, what this person didn't understand is you are absolutely allowed to forgive someone for what they've done without letting them back into your life. And also, you can't always feel bad for people that are in a predicament that they created for themselves. You know, at some point you have to own the shit you do. And of course, I'm not suggesting that you have no empathy whatsoever. I asked him why you needed the extra money for. And he said it was for distractions. Girls and, you know, going in a bar. I mean, I'm not gonna pay for your fucked up lifestyle. Why would I do? Why would anyone do that? And again, I'm not a heartless asshole. If he would have been really hungry, I would never give him money, but I would have bought him food. So I asked him, I said, do you have a roof over your head? He said, yes. Do you eat every day? He said, yes. He's on welfare, he's got a small apartment. It's nothing like the lifestyle that he used to have. That he can kiss that goodbye for sure. The rock star life is over. All of his actions throughout his life, even if they weren't connected with me 30 years ago, brought him to that exact moment, asking me for money. That's when I started thinking more in depth about this. That's what I meant when I said I saw karma in real time within 20 years. It made me think about all those little decisions that we make that seems so unimpactful, that we don't think much at the moment of doing these little decisions or actions. You know, like doing a little bit of drug, drink a little bit too much, being a dick to people we're supposed to love, losing trust, stealing, all those little actions that you believe that they don't bear any real serious consequences adds up and can impact the trajectory of your life long term. And it's funny, I mean, it's not funny, haha, but how when you find yourself in that predicament, something shitty is happening to you, whatever, you can track back the course of action you took to put you right where you are. Big decisions are more obvious how it's gonna change the trajectory of your life. You know, if you get married, it's easy to see how it changes your life. If you have a kid, it's easy to see how it changes the trajectory of your life. But if you're a dick with your uncle, and then you steal a little bit from your aunt, treat your friends like shit, start being selfish more and more with people, it's not like it's steering you in the direction where you're gonna end up just being alone, where people don't want to have anything to do with you. You don't realize it right away. It kind of builds towards that. But also, it's never too late to become a better person. Try to better yourself and stop acting like an idiot. I think at some point it can be too late, past a certain age. I mean, you could do the effort, but if you were a jerk for 40 years with people, that's gonna be a hard one to turn around, that's for sure. So this video is for you if you're young and you think that all those little choices are not impactful in your life. You're absolutely wrong about that. And for you, if you see this video and you feel like you resemble the character of my story, maybe you understand a little more why. Maybe you want to self-reflect and you'll understand why people are acting this way with you. Makes you realize that it's always your choice what's gonna happen towards the end. Yeah, something to think about. I'll see you soon.